Tourism meeting. I'd like to welcome all our visitors. We got quite a few today. That's good to see. Thanks for being with us. I'm sure you'll get to speak here in a minute. All right, Elsa, what do you have what's on your agenda?
I thought maybe we could go to visitors first.
Okay.
That way, if they have somewhere to be, they can.
Works for me.
excuse themselves. So, Denny, you want to?
Floor is yours, Denny. Mr. Fentress.
This is going to be a lot. And you know I'm asking for money.
Hey,
So,
we always know that.
That's always, just get that out front.
Right.
We
Lay that
thought
out.
you were a member of the Tourism Commission, Denny.
Maybe, someday.
Denny, stand up.
I wouldn't be addressing the commission without that, Kelly. I sent you all our requests, our proposals for our Leitchfield Beautification Awards. We've tried that in the past. I don't think there's anything formal. This time, we want to make it a little more formal. We set out the rules. These are just not written in stone, but rules. In fact, we've already had one proposal change in it. We're going to have awards, I think, quarterly. We were going to do it in the summer. Instead of doing it for a summer award, we thought we'd do it for a theme and have it for a fiddle festival.
Okay.
And have yards, if somebody dresses their yards up, houses with that theme. Also downtown on the square, the merchants would do their windows like that and have an award that way. We also had the committee of people making up the decisions on that, and it was laid out in there. The more I thought about it, the more I thought maybe we could eliminate one of the city council members that's on the beautification committee and put somebody like on the women's club, or even somebody from the school art department, something like that. But again, none of it's written in stone. What I'm asking for from tourism is $1,500, and that's for the signs. I went to Whirly's to get an estimate for, we thought, metal signs because they would last. And it was about $125 each, roughly. Maybe a little bit more, but that gives us an idea of why we're asking for that. This is from the, I guess, from the City Council on the Beautification Committee. Gina Carnes did most of the work on this, doing it, and Clayton's also on the committee. And we feel it will help instill a little bit more pride in our community, plus draw people in here to see the award winners.
Sure.
So that's why we're asking for consideration from tourism for $1,500.
Okay.
I got a question, Denny.
I wouldn't have thought that
Well, I'm just,
from Kelly.
don't you think that if we decorate like what you're speaking of, there'd be several people that would come into our city to see what we've done, visitors and motels and so forth, and eating out and so on?
That's the hope,
Okay.
to get people in, and that's why I'm asking for tourism.
Denny, these signs, will they go in the winner's yard or in
Yes.
their window display?
Well, if it's a business, it'll go in the window.
Okay.
And it'll go in their yards. But if you notice on the information, it's only with their approval.
Right.
And we hopefully will put it on our city website when we get that going. Also, hopefully in the newspaper, radio, just if, again, with the owner's permission, to have
Yeah.
pictures of it and how they decorated or renovated their
Sure.
properties. So, and I think we've got a potential nominee here in the room right now,
Yeah, I would
Perhaps,
think
yeah.
so.
with that kind of stuff. So
I move to approve both requests for the 15 and the 125.
The 125 was what?
It
That's
was
per
just
sign, right?
15,
Per sign.
it was 1,500 total.
Right.
The signs were 125 each,
Okay.
and we figure it's 10
I'll
signs.
second that.
We have a first by Kelly, second by Joyce. All in favor with the sign of aye? Aye. Any opposed? All right, so moved.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you.
Next thing.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
The old trick.
You can see I've got the 3 more
All right.
folders here.
We
Just,
should have waited.
yeah. Everybody take a drink.
Anybody want pizza?
First thing, I think Elsa sent pictures of you guys of the sign. I think it's gonna look really good.
Looks great.
The letters are on it. We got it'll be, if you noticed on the post, on the ends, there's a place to put the Litchfield insignia, and also tourism's
Great.
on there. Right now, we've spent about a little less than $900 we had a lot of the metal in-house that was used for other signs, so we had a lot of stuff we didn't have to buy. We've got concrete in-house that we're going to set it in, so probably won't have a whole lot, well, couple $100 more to do it, especially with the wrap or whatever. Davis thinks he's going to put a wrap on that and then maybe seal it in plastic, so that way if the city ever changes its emblem, that'll be easy
Come right
fix
out.
to change it.
Yeah.
So that's the thinking on that. You all were kind enough to give us 2,500. I think we may have enough, if you all are okay with it, to use the rest of the 2,500 and put a sign over to Fireman's Park. The same sign, black. This is Denny. Now, I have to get my wife in. She's a decorator.
Well,
But I think the black with red letters at the Fireman Park would really look sharp.
where would you put it? Where do you propose putting that?
As you come in, you know,
By
at the
on the
pickleball.
parking lot? Okay,
Yeah, that way, instead of over by the, because that's where the most guests will come.
right.
That visit the park. They don't really come to the firehouse side.
There's still plenty of clearance. I don't know how tall that sign is. It's got to be
It's big enough.
15 foot tall, I guess, or so.
Yes, David and Wes made sure that
Said it was
the
okay.
garbage
Okay.
trucks,
Okay.
you know, that go through there. So it'll be that same size.
Right.
So if you guys are okay in spending, we'll go ahead and spend the rest of it. Let's delegate for that.
You know, I'm going to have questions. Is there electrical stuff in there, like light poles where a boom truck's going to have to get through there to work on stuff? Maybe Harold will remember that, I don't know.
Do you-
Electric comes in from behind, from the subdivision behind it.
Mhm.
There's a lot of but I don't think that shouldn't be a problem. Get under, get in there. It just goes along to 59 there.
All right, I'm done, Dennis.
Are you? Two more. The pickleball courts, I have, right now, we've spent about 68,000 on the pickleball courts. Do y'all have a copy of the breakdown? I made,
I don't remember seeing that.
Thank you.
that'll give you an idea of what's been spent so far. They're going to seal it, supposed to seal it maybe next month or in April. Also, there'll be a little bit more expenditures on it. There'll be some lighting for the lights. We had the poles, mayor was able to get poles for free through the school. There may be some expenditures on the light fixtures for the lights. Also, some concrete to put the benches on. There'll be some expenditures on that. The city's going to do the prep work, but there will be some expense on the concrete. And also some trees. We were thinking about getting trees to be sound barriers to help with that. And so there'll be a little more, but I think you guys, I think the 87,000 was the grant, and I think we should be in a fair amount, well, some below that grant. So right now, the pickleball courts, if Anthony can probably speak better than I can, but the times I've been out there, they're really being used a lot.
they are.
And this is the time of year that you wouldn't expect to be used. They're limited, of course, a little bit with the wind. It's not like tennis that you can play if it's real windy. So you may see a pretty day and there may not be anybody out there, but it's because of the wind. But I think they're being utilized, and we've done some research to have pickleball tournaments. You need 8 courts. So something I'm going to consider maybe asking for 4 more courts. It's really picking up here at the church, the Rock. I think they're doing 3 days a week now.
2.
I think they've added a
They
third
changed
day.
that. They just added it then, because they were, as of last week, they were just doing the 2.
I got an email, I think they're going to do 3 now.
Okay.
Two beginners and 1
Okay.
regular
Yeah, there's,
at the church. I think St. Joseph now is doing 2 days now. I think they're playing 2
Are they?
days out there.
yeah, Monday
They
and
picked up
Tuesday.
from 1 to 2. There's a pickleball club in the Facebook page they have, I think, and a pickleball organization.
Grayson County
Right.
pickleball.
And I've talked to Doug Mantooth, and he's talked to E-Town about how they're arranging tournaments. But you really need 8 courts to do tournaments. I think tournaments would bring a lot more people into the community. I think there's a need for it. I'm hoping that the biggest problem we're going to have is parking. And I could see
That will
that
be a
being a
problem.
problem at the park.
Mhm.
But the mayor's here, and maybe he can help us with that. But maybe in the next visit, I may ask you guys to consider another grant, something to think about for now. But the next
that's-
time, and it would be probably about 80,000 to do the four more courts.
Right. You propose putting them there beside it? I mean, is that
Beside.
the idea?
Yeah, there's enough room. We have to move one playground area, but I think it's kind of not in best shape anyway. And it's in the process of maybe being taken down. It's already past its life expectancy
Right.
and being moved. So,
No, I definitely think we need another one. I mean, just by seeing the demand already from the one that's there. I went by yesterday and there was, well, I think you may have been out there, Anthony. There was people waiting,
yeah.
so.
And we've,
And I've already had a couple of inquiries about hosting tournaments.
Mm-hmm,
Not sure how to handle that one.
yeah. Well, in
Is
due
there a
time.
paddle rack out there or anything?
Yes.
There is one?
yeah. I think, have you got the rules?
Rules
I think
are
there's
up.
rules
Yeah, the rules are up.
They are up, okay.
up,
Denny, can I have a copy of the numbers you gave the commission?
Sure.
Well, we'll definitely discuss that the second
You know how I
quarter.
like to come before the commission and be embarrassed by my height. Okay. I'll be back next month. But another thing I want you to consider too. The mayor and I and Scotty Cantway went to Morgantown. They have got a great park over there. They spent $6 million for the park. We asked the mayor how they were able to fund it. They did it by bonds through the restaurant tax. The way they've got it set up is they've got I think it was 90% of the revenue goes to pay the bonds for their $6 million park. And that's something that I was not aware of, that it could be funded that way. We'll know something probably this month about any funding we're going to get from Frankfurt. I'm not as optimistic as I was initially. There's a bunch of other needs. I think Steve said that it's like $100 billion. The request is $100 billion more than they've got money for.
Wow.
That they're asking from people, other people asking for money. So, but if you all would consider maybe doing something like that, not today, but if I can work up a proposal showing, this is about how much the bonds would cost, percentage of restaurant tax, it's you all decide. It's not a city issue.
Sure.
It's your all's decision. But it's just something to think about, and I would like to make a proposal, do a little more research on it, and see if that's something that we could use the money for to build the sportsplex.
Yeah, Denny too. I hate to butt in, I know where you're going. What is our bonding capacity as a city? And do we have bonding capacity as tourism opposite of the city? And do we have to go through some of the Kentucky rules for our restaurant tax to change that over to bonding and then instead of funding as you go? That's some of the questions I would like to answer.
Exactly. Me too. And we just went Friday. So it's something to really consider. And hopefully I can get the answers for all this. This is Brittany Clinton from Hospital Foundation. She's put in hours, traveled the country for this, and they're a strong proponent of it. She even took a class.
Our foundation has already agreed to donate the land. It's 10 acres across from ECTC on the corner where you turn to go down to the baseball fields. So we have the land secured. Denny and I attended a grant workshop in E-Town to learn how to apply for state and federal grants and how to really sift through those and find what we're eligible for. So we do hope to apply for grant funding that we can apply to the sportsplex as well. But we're just trying to find several different sources of funding.
Sure. And it may take several sources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've already, looked into typical places, facilities we've been to have naming rights and donors,
Right.
that type of stuff. Owensboro's recently opened a 18 million, or in the process of building an $18 million, and it's like about 90,000 square foot. The one we were looking at was about half of that size, and they're doing it for basically for sports tourism, and it's down there. Madisonville's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They've got a huge facility that they're building, and it's all related to sports tourism.
It's a big business.
And I think it would be something that I would like to look into it, and if you guys are willing to at least consider it, for me to get information and see what we could do on that.
Yeah.
Denny, may I ask Brittany a question, please? It's kind of off the topic.
I'll move out of the way so you can see it.
I can still see her, you standing there. I'm sorry. Several years ago, I served on a wellness committee at the hospital. And one of the things they were really adamant on was the health of our community, how the hospital could improve on that. And one of the things was getting our community to eat better foods. As you know, they're doing a farmer's market out on 62, the county presently is. Is there any funds available from the hospital to kick in on that for?
So, the foundation that I work for is separate from the hospital.
I don't know if it's been recorded.
The foundation that I work for is separate from the hospital, but we do have grant funding. And as far as healthy eating choices, that's something that funds could be or you could apply for funding from us, and funds could potentially be awarded. It would just have to go to our grant review committee. But yes, there's potentially funding there.
But we're speaking something, two different things, foundation and.
So the hospital, I'm not sure. I believe that funds could be applied. So Owensboro Health Foundation has some community investment grants that they give. And I believe that you could apply for funding through that, but I can't speak to that 100%. But I can find out for you.
Would any of those funds be available through the recreation side? To improve
So-
the wellness of the people?
I think, as far as our foundation, I believe that there is funding that I know Denny intends to ask for. He likes to ask for money. So I think there are funds available that I think we could help. It obviously wouldn't pay for all of it, but I think there are funds available that we can probably secure some for.
Well put, Brittany. Thank you for your time.
From Owensboro Health, I think we could apply for funding, but I don't think it's going to be a significant amount from their grant program, maybe separately,
No dollar
but
counts.
that's something we'll have to ask for.
I think separate we would have a good chance of getting some significant money through maybe naming rights.
Okay.
We've already been kind of preliminary talks with them about that and the amounts, and I think it'd be pretty significant. But I still think we're looking at a $10 million facility,
Yeah,
so,
it will be.
significance it's a little bit different. Naming
Right.
rights for Candlestick Park and naming rights for Leitchfield.
Right.
But thank you for the hint.
No, I'm getting that evil interest look.
All right.
Interest.
Thank you all.
Hey,
Thank you. I
we look
appreciate
forward to it. Thank you.
Can I just say something? I know he gave you all something on the pickleball. I'm not sure what that is. I didn't see that, what the expense is. But no reimbursements have been done. So when you all look at your budget reports, just know that none of those expenses has hit your all's budget report yet, because I have yet to see any of that yet. So that has not
Keep that
hit
in mind.
your financials yet. So I just wanted to be clear on that when you all go through your financials, that that's not on there. I haven't seen that.
Fair enough.
That's all I got.
Thank you.
Pull off from the receipts and invoices.
Robert,
Should pull
Mandy,
off from the receipts and invoices.
your turn.
I haven't seen that. so I'm not sure.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Well, again, thank you, Commission, for allowing us a little bit of time to do a couple of things. One, share our vision with you about the hotel, and then obviously, we're like Denny here for asking for a little bit of grant money to help. But the theme, I think, is the same. When you think about it, is when you heard from Denny, it was about how do we beautify the square? How do we beautify Grayson County? How do we increase foot traffic, whether it's to the square, or provide entertainment opportunities for people of Grayson County and beyond? And I think that ties in well with what God put on our heart 2.5 years ago. Believe it or not, I don't know how long that building sat empty
A long
and
time.
in ruins. But God put it on our heart a couple of years ago to pour into the square, pour into the community, and try to build it back up. And so we started out on that journey, and we are near finishing. And so hopefully by the 1st of April, and when we're done here, you're welcome to come down and take a tour. We should put the signs up that says, pardon our mess, while we're renovating. And I think you guys can see that we've done a lot of renovation. But the whole notion was, how do we pour into Grayson County? How do we beautify the square? How do we bring life back into it? And obviously that means bringing a lot of foot traffic in there. That building, from basement to the top, is about 22,000 square feet. And there's probably a reason that building sat empty for a couple of decades, because if you're just trying to put a pencil to it, it really doesn't make a lot of sense for most people. But again, I think God's got greater plans than what we would think about. And so we're going to utilize every square foot of that building, the basement being a place called the Rabbit Hole, where you can go down and have a shopping experience, hopefully different than you'd see in other parts of the community. The main floor is a restaurant that you guys will get to see. Steak and Stone is the owners, the name of the building that's coming in. I don't know what their projections are, but I would easily imagine that they could be $1 million plus revenue a year. Not to mention what we would have with the Airbnb, and then the event venue, which is the old Alice Palace movie theater. And that's what we're really wanting to talk to you about today, is to be able to assist us in our vision to bring foot traffic into Grayson County and into the square by being able to provide entertainment, whether that's, and we use Danielle to help us with some of that, just like she helps East Main Market, to bring moderately priced entertainment into that event venue so that people could come in at a reasonable cost. Again, a lot like the pickleball, it's something for the community. Because if we tried to do that on our own, the average act would probably cost $4,000 to $5,000. If you're bringing somebody of good value in, we only concede about 150 people, I think, as our guests. So that wouldn't pencil. You couldn't really charge a reasonable amount to cover your cost. But we do believe if we can provide, get some provided help from the tourism group to help cover that cost, we would be able to see that foot traffic increase, and also the restaurant potentially be able to provide meals, drinks for folks while they're there. And again, bring the square to life and have something, hopefully once a month that we could have there. So our ask would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $4,000 to $5,000 per event once a month. I know there's only a couple of months left in this year, so we'd look at, $7,000 or $8,000 for that period, and then respectfully request a grant for the next funding year for a total of $50,000. Now we've invested a significant amount, and Mandy, I'll ask her to talk a little bit about it, of what we've done, and some unexpected costs that we've had, but that's okay. We know what we're called to do, and we believe that it's going to be blessed. And so really our hearts are, when it's blessed and that's full and it's being utilized to its fullest extent, and God blesses us with that, and financially it's fine, then really where do we go next? How do we invest back into the community even more? Because we didn't want this. I didn't want this at retirement age. Wasn't what was on my mind, but we're going to be obedient to what God called us to do. And now it's where do we go next from here? So when it's blessed, we want to find out, how do we continue to pour into the city? Mandy?
Yeah, I'm thinking with the money we've spent, we could, have a beach house and be retired and everything be great. But here we are. Most of you may know, and some of you may not, that we did not get any type of funding from the state or federal historic preservation because we are private individuals. You either had to be a city commerce, a religious group, a school, or a nonprofit. And so we did not qualify for any grants, anything like that. We just recently found out that there was a federal and state of Kentucky tax credit. I'd seen that in the newspaper where a place in Eatown had got that, but it is through the Kentucky Tourism. The bad thing about that is you are supposed to apply for those tax credits before construction begins. So he said, I told him, I said, well, there's some that construction really hasn't, began like in the basement, but now it's already began. But he said to go ahead and submit, but I'm not hopeful of, that we're going to get any of that, but we may, who knows. But, when we did buy that, of course, we did our due diligence in talking to, contractors, structural engineers, that type of thing. And at the beginning, we thought with it being a historical building that there was a lot of things that we were going to get to kind of grandfather in or bypass some of those, the red tape from, state, but it didn't happen. Even though the occupational class hadn't changed from it being a restaurant, a hotel, and a theater and event venue fall under the same occupational classification. We have went over budget and probably have spent nearly $525,000 just on the red tape that they've asked us to do that we did not plan on doing. Some of those things are the sprinkler system, and not only did we have to put a sprinkler system in the basement, all 3 floors had to be sprinkled, and then not on top of that, a special fireproof drywall had to be put in on all 3 of those floors. So 22,000 square feet of 1 hour protection drywall had to go in there. We had to send to the city, once the restaurant decided what equipment that they had to bring in, we had to do a capacity study on our gas. So once we presented that to the city of what that was going, what gas usage we were going to be, and they came back to us what was required for us to be, just to get those gas pipe ran was $80,000 to get it in from pipe fitters, and then the city charged us another $17,200 just to get it hooked up into the building. We've had over 58 permits that we've had to pay for and ask for. We've had to wall off the whole building where you can't access the hotel from the restaurant anymore. Again, it was all about fire protection and firewalls. And I'm not complaining. I don't want you all to think that, because safety comes first. And I know that we have done everything by the book. We've not tried to slide under the radar. We have not, tried to get out of anything, because at the end of the day, if something were to happen and that building did catch on fire or a building collapsed, we know that we did everything that the state, the city, the county required us of. But we had to wall off the staircase, we had to wall off the archway that went into the hotel, and we had to just tap into the theater and build an additional staircase just for Airbnb guests. We've had a leaking basement that we've had to deal with and take care of some erosions there. We have had, we've had to put in an alarm system that contacts 911 directly for carbon monoxide or fire, and so that was an additional cost. We also had to put in special windows upstairs that were encased, fire-approved windows. The doors that lead into each Airbnb, they had to be a special door that had an actual fire-rated stamp on them, so it wasn't anything that we could go into Lowe's and buy or Future Designs and buy. Each one of those doors cost $3,200. I could just go on and on and on, but those were things that we did not plan and participate or think that we were going to get into when we first said yes, we're going to buy it. We are now we qualified for a loan, and Ryan can tell you this, at Wilson and Muir Bank. We have tapped everything that we can out of that loan. So everything now that we're doing, instead of buying a beach house, is going, all of our retirement is now going into what's left of this building. And like Robert said, it was not our choice. It was something God wanted us to do. We love Grayson County, and even though he's not from here, he loves it as much as I do. And we just really want to see this town grow. We want to see, you know, the future of our grandchildren, your grandchildren, have a safe and just awesome environment to grow up in and live in. And we're trying to do our part in making that happen.
It's
And
like,
I do want to add, we've hired Danielle, and I want her to talk a little bit about the thing, but go ahead and say what you're going to say.
yeah, Daniel may cover this. When I had the request of up to 50,000, the reason I say up to, because there may be a month that they couldn't get somebody to book, and so that would be kind of the boundaries for this, finish out this year and then the next year. But with that, I'll let Daniel kind of share her piece.
Hey,
Hey,
guys.
how are you?
So I'm excited to work with the Alice Palace. Our first question I get every time I mention it to people is, are we going to do movies in there again? I would love to offer some kind of like maybe once a month movie. I've been talking to the guy, Jay, trying to see our options with that. There's a lot of licensing fees and stuff that I haven't got the numbers back. We're still waiting for that. But we would love to have a movie in there. That's the first thing out of everybody's mouth. Of course, we want live entertainment. We're thinking about a karaoke night. I'd like to do like a Thursday entertainment night. We're hoping for weddings a lot of the weekends. So those are going to be really hard to kind of book out for the big bands that we want. We have about 6 months probably that we won't have any weddings as soon as we open the calendar up, just because the girls plan their stuff a year, 6 months out. So we're going to try to do those big numbers through the next 6 months, and then probably hand select a few Saturdays to hold off for entertainment and then open the rest up for the weddings. And then what doesn't fill, then we kind of fill in as we go. Like, okay, we can't really get a band that far out, but we can get a movie night. Or we can do, I've even been checking into the like murder mystery dinner theater. With the restaurant, they would be able to help us with the food. There's a traveling group I've been talking to. We also thought about comedians, bringing in a comedian to fill those nights. It's just, I mean, the sky's the limit with, you could do anything. We would love the school, you know, if they've got any kind of plays or Christmas, you know, to come there and be able to utilize that as well. We're looking at a New Year's Eve group already in there to do a New Year's Eve party in there. So I think those are the ideals that we've got kind of going forward with it. We're hoping to, like I said, do a once a month big kind of blowout and then fill the rest of the calendar. We're kind of just playing as we go because we really don't know what to expect as far as people booking it, and you know, birthday parties could book it. Anybody can book it. It's going to be a venue, so.
Had lots of asking about
Yeah.
booking it.
It'll stay booked.
Yeah, reunion parties, graduation parties, birthday parties.
Yeah, so we're excited. So we just thought, you know, we'd come to you guys, see if y'all could give us some help on trying to just continue entertaining when we're not in our summer months with East Main. I mean, during the summer months, of course, too, but we can only do outdoor stuff, obviously, in the, you know, weather permitting. This could always be, because I'm not going to compete against myself, obviously, so this could always be a backup for rain backup if we need it to, for East Main.
Yeah.
Because right now, we don't have that, as you know. We've got to hopefully try to get the fairgrounds or something. So it would be right there close. The food trucks could still stay there even in weather. So I feel like it's going to go hand in hand and really make the square come to life.
Well, I appreciate all you guys have done and shared with us today, and what we can look forward to, because there's going to be some great things there. We know that. So are there any questions?
I have a question. So I'm envisioning, like, when you know what specific entertainment acts you have coming in, that you'll give us that written description with the cost, and then we'll have something to be able to base an amount off of versus, because I don't think we can legally just write.
Yeah, if there's an act that comes in that's $2,500, but they're coming from somewhere further away, you know, we could do $2,500 to pay for them, their lodging, and then I know that they want snacks in the green room, and they want, you know, their dinner, or, you know, whatever the case may be, that, and we can give you that,
The breakdown.
yeah.
We are already kind of working with Stefan. We want to bring him up on stage, hopefully
Yeah,
first, to kick it off
Yeah.
in May. So we're kind of working with him on a date for that. So that would be for sure something we'd want to fill out the request for.
Well, it's obviously a big ask. And so we would have to have some discussion
Sure.
about it before. we-
Yes.
Right,
Absolutely.
so,
And we have questions.
Sure.
yeah, as we get into it, yeah.
I'm like this, I don't think we can just do a blanket amount. I think you would have to come with each act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or even, I think, if you don't want to do it month to month, you're going to have a plan. You're not going to just schedule month to month, so you'll know, just like East Main,
Right.
for a couple months or
Yeah.
out. And of course, things would always happen where there would be a special situation, something might change or come up last minute, so.
So, I just happened to think of a question. Would you charge admission to these shows?
Yes, we would charge probably a low, well, the Legion charges $10 for a
Right.
band. That's kind of,
I
that's the
mean,
only thing I have to
right,
go off
right.
of, because that's the only person that has
Right.
live music here.
Right.
So yeah, we would charge that, a small fee at the door. Of course, Mackenzie's got to get something for renting the room. Then we'd have a cleaning person have to go in after that. You'd have a DJ, you know, there's still
No,
costs.
there's
to-
expenses, sure.
Yeah.
Just trying to,
Utilities, the lights, the sound system. We work with Jeff that does the
Yeah.
East Main Market sound and stuff, and so he's bought all of our lighting and sound, and I think it's gonna go
yeah,
in
Next.
Yeah.
next
that-
week.
there you go.
And that was 40,000 alone for
Right.
just that. And he saved them actually 18,000, I think,
Wow.
from the last quote, so.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. It's been interesting in that I think people walk into such a big project and they think, oh, these people have more money than they know what to do with, let's charge them, you know, X, Y, and Z. And we have found that we get 3 quotes on everything because something can literally go from being 80,000 down to 40,000 just because people are trying to take advantage of
Right.
thinking they just, you know, and we don't have more money than we know what to do with.
I have a question. You said is the second floor B&B?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Do you know how many rooms or what that you have there?
Yes, so we have 7 units, we have 2 studios, 2 one-bedrooms, and 3 two-bedrooms.
Okay.
And when you come and see those, we will, you know, tell you what each one of those are.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have time today, we'd love to show it.
Yeah, we'd love for
Yeah,
everybody to
I'd
come
like
up
to.
after the meeting if you can. But they are high-end. I mean, when we said we were gonna do it well,
No, it's first class. I've been there.
and that we were not gonna skimp. We, you know, if you compare us, because somebody wrote on our Facebook page, I hope it's cheaper than the Hatfield Inn, and it's apples and oranges,
Mhm.
really.
Okay. Thank you.
And, so we know that, I mean, there's already been people wanting to book, and we're just not to that stage to, you know, to start booking, but at any given time, if there's somebody we've been wanting to have like a family reunion in the theater, but then all 20 of them want to stay up there, if all the rooms were rented out and all the beds were taken, we would have the capacity of 35 people.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, any other questions? If not, thank you guys again.
Thank you. Will you all come up?
Yeah, I plan to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Send us a text, Ryan.
Yeah, I will.
That way.
We'll do it. Thank you.
Later.
See you in a minute.
Thank you. So I
Right.
think it'd be a great time while Daniel's
I
at
was
the
gonna say.
podium.
I'll just stay.
You're still up there. Go for it.
Okay, so super excited about our 4th season of East Main Market. I did decide to ask you guys about considering, I'm thinking about going to 5, just because 2 to 5 has been so slow. I mean, I've tried 3 years, anything I could think of to bring the people out, and they just are not
Yeah.
coming.
It's usually hot, too.
Yes, summertime, super hot. 5 o'clock, they all start trickling in, and then as y'all know, 6 or 7, it's
Full house.
booming. So that's kind of what I thought, just to kind of start at 5.
I think it's a great idea.
I had some of the vendors that set up and everything, and then by 5 o'clock, they were ready to leave.
Yeah, because they're exhausted. They've been out in the sun all day and haven't had nobody, and they're discouraged. So I'm not really focusing so much on the vendors, but I've already got them starting to call me. So I guess, yeah, I thought that may kill the vendors, but
Right.
maybe it's not going to. I'm going to go with maybe a couple more food trucks, just different options, because people, They want to eat, and they want to have a drink,
Yeah,
and they
that's
want
the
to sit
best
down
part.
and watch music. So we're going to try to do like 4 or 5 trucks, but I'm limited on my 50 amps. I just realized that because I overbooked one truck last year and had to put him on the square, if y'all remember.
I do.
But he did great. I mean, he was super busy
Yeah.
on the square, which kind of made me nervous, but, so that is kind of what I was thinking. I wanted to see if you guys all kind of agreed on that. And then
I
we
have a
just-
question, I don't mean to
Yes.
cut in. So you are going to have vendors? Okay, I didn't catch that before, I thought you were not. So I need to go
I'm
back
not-
in and add the
We
forms.
weren't gonna
and-
crazy push it like we have before, but I've already got people reaching out. So I mean, if they want to pay to set up on the street, that's, you know, I'm not gonna say no, so.
Will that start at 5? Vendors will start at 5? Gotcha.
5
Okay,
to
I'll
10.
make that change.
And then the bouncy houses, I don't feel like those have been worth the money that we're having to pay to have them. They're just not getting utilized. I tried to go to the free one, as y'all know, last year, and it didn't seem like it really helped. So I decided to kind of, if you guys agree, to kind of go away from those for a season and see what happens with that. We do have the girl that paints faces. That was super busy. So she's come in, and I've kind of been talking to her about possibly doing like some little kid games, you know, like just little like the floaty ducks
Right.
and, you know, just stuff that the kids like, just to give them a little corner of something to do.
Someone set up last year, they made, the little kids come over and they made bracelets and
Yes.
stuff. And that was always busy.
Yep. And definitely want some vendors with kids stuff to have, for them to have something to do. I think that, oh, I know what I was, okay, so with no daytime, then we wouldn't have the locals. But a lot of the local kids have went off to college, almost all of them that were doing our little local entertainment for the daytime, for the 2 o'clock. So what I thought, instead of doing like no locals, and I didn't want to get people upset with that, so I thought with the Alice Palace, if we do like a karaoke contest on the Thursday before the festival, and then like in between the bands, because I have that hour downtime, let them sing a song or two, the winner of the contest. And that'll kind of,
Sounds like a good idea.
yeah. So that's kind of what I thought, to give the locals at least a chance to get on stage.
Good deal. Be here before we
And-
know it.
That's all I got on my list. Does anybody got any questions?
So you've already
I'm
got the
ready.
summer booked out, right?
I do,
Great.
yeah.
Good.
You got to get them
Yeah.
fast. Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
I am too. Yeah, thank
And
you
do you guys
guys.
want to get a picture, because we do for the
Oh,
$60,000
yep.
grant? And then we'll let Danielle, if you don't have anything else, she can get on with her day.
Oh, we're going to picture again.
I know I started wearing sweatpants. Reese, you ain't gonna do that, are you? I swear I'll get my 15-year-old in.
Are we all going down or somebody stand up?
I'm gonna stay up because I was dressed for no picture.
I want to advertise this.
I usually get up here and get behind Ryan so nobody can see me.
So nobody can see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Very good.
Yes, we're excited.
All right.
Okay, minutes.
Knock a few of this agenda items out. The minutes for the January meeting, need a motion to approve those. Everybody-
Second.
First by Angie, second by Anthony. All in favor with the sign of aye?
Aye.
All right, so moved. Financial reports.
Can I speak on the financial side?
Absolutely.
So I've been talking with Jeff, and I was hoping he'd be here today. I know I've been saying he's coming, but he's had some staffing issues, and I think it's just, he's got the audit done. There's no findings, everything's great. The issue is getting it typed up and things together to present it. So I just talked to him yesterday. He was hoping, but it's just not going to work out. So I just wanted to give you all an update on that. I don't want to wait till the end of March to present an audit from June 30th of 2023. So if there's any way when he does get that done, if we can have a special call meeting so he can present that, it would be, I would appreciate it. But that's going to be up to you all. I just wanted to give you all a heads up that, you know, I think that would be better as soon as he gets it done to go ahead and let you all know, and maybe you all can, wouldn't care to come in for a special call meeting. But like I said, he told me yesterday, there's no findings, everything looks great. It's just getting it typed up and presented, with the staffing issues he's having. Everybody
Right.
knows those problems right now, so.
Everybody okay with having a special call meeting?
Fine with it.
Rises?
Yeah.
I'll keep in touch and let you all know. He was working on it yesterday, and I mean, the city one has to be in by March 1st. That's the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're focusing on typing that one up. The tourism is included in that. So obviously it's
Should be
done.
done
It's
this
just
week.
typing that specific one. So I don't know that it'll be this week, but I know he has to have the city one done this week. So
Okay.
that's kind of where his focus is right now, but I'll be in touch with y'all, or with Elsa, and Elsa will be in touch with y'all and let y'all know.
All right, good deal.
Okay.
Were there any questions or comments on the financials?
No.
Nothing stuck out to me. Hearing none, we'll take a motion to approve the financials.
I'll make a motion.
Joyce with the first, can I get a second? Angie second, all in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? So moved.
And one more thing, sorry.
Sure.
It's getting ready to be March, so I'm gonna start working on budgets. So Elsa and I are gonna start trying to get together sometime, to just start discussing if we need to make any amendments, what amendments have already
Right.
been approved, what amendments we're gonna need, and things like that. So Elsa and I will start working on that, so you all should start hearing something. I'd say about April. It gives me the whole month of March to, her and I, to get things together. But around April, you all should start hearing about budgets.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Elsa, I'll let you run with it.
Okay, in your packets, you have an update from the latest Zoom meeting that we had with Retail Coach, and that was basically with an interested party. That sounded, I thought it would be a great addition to the area. They would need an additional feasibility study from Core Distinction Group that we had done over 2 years ago. It was my understanding that we got an additional study, but it's not, that is not the case. We get an additional pro forma. Now, she did reach out with me this morning to let me know that any bank would want a study and a pro forma done within the past 2 years before they would accept it. So to get that updated, that is directed specifically toward the business that wants to come in, that would be $4,750, and it could be done within 10 days.
So that will be up-to-date information.
Correct.
As far as traffic count, if there is
Yes.
updated traffic count.
Any additional happenings that have
Yeah,
happened.
so much has changed in 2 years. Time gets away from you. I didn't realize it'd been that long since we had that study done,
Right.
until that call the other day.
It would be my recommendation, and it was with Retail Coach, that we do move forward with getting the feasibility study.
No, I would agree with that totally.
Need a motion for that?
Yes.
I would like it.
I'm trying to figure out where the money will come from, I guess, is what I was looking at.
How much is that?
4,750, so it would be a contract.
We'd have to look at it, I don't know.
I mean, we have it
Prepared for that.
earmarked for something, I'm sure.
I'm sure there's something, there's extra in there. I mean, just looking at the budget reports, I believe
Right.
we can move it from somewhere.
Okay,
Okay.
Elsa and I can look at it together.
all right. So we need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Angie made that
second.
motion.
Forward with feasibility.
Lindell.
Linda seconded it. All in favor with the sign of aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so moved. Looking forward to seeing the new report.
Thank you. On Parks and Rec, on the back of your agenda sheet, you have notes that Tammy did submit. And if you have any additional statements, or if you guys have any questions.
It looks like got a busy summer planned.
All good stuff. Okay, I'm going to continue unless you.
No, sure, go
Okay.
ahead.
Louisville Boat Show, of course, that was in January, and I thought it went really, really good. We worked, Angie, Joyce, and I worked through the week shifts, and I was more accustomed to working on the weekends, so it was a little bit slower, but I feel like the contacts that we made were really solid contacts.
Good.
Yeah.
It was
Great.
very good.
So on fireworks, we were able to speak with Tommy Higdon, and he owns some additional land that's just down from the previous location that we shot the fireworks. And he's agreed to let us do that again this year. We will meet with him and stake off that area with Andrew Hoobrey soon.
So you think it'll still be visible from the middle school, I guess?
Or the aquatic?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just
It's right behind it, really, right?
fly spot will be viewed from the visual spot. It's
Okay,
just,
gotcha,
Closer to the pool.
Everything should be fairly the same as
Okay.
it has been.
good,
After this year, we'll probably have to start looking
mm-hmm,
at different areas.
right.
Mr. Chairman, may I speak to something, on kind of considering fireworks? Somebody mentioned to me that a lot of the cities are going to what these drone shows.
Mm-hmm.
And you assume the thunder over Louisville and so forth, but the smaller areas are starting to do that in place of fireworks because, well, I'm sure they'll have music with the drone, but also the possibility, fire and everything like that. So I don't know how expensive that is, but somebody mentioned to me, maybe it's something 4 or 5 years down the road we can look at.
I think it's comparable, maybe even a little cheaper than fireworks. Danny and I were in Morgantown, when did we go? Friday, and, they had the drone show. They tried it for the first time, and really raved about it.
So the public liked it too, I guess. I mean, it's different, I've seen them on TV, they're pretty neat.
Yeah, so we'll do some checking into that.
I think I've ever seen one.
Get some information from them. I don't know where the people came from, or them to do it, but Miss Texas, maybe. Somewhere it was pretty far off, but you talk like it was comparable, maybe even a little cheaper than fireworks. So.
Yeah,
Thanks, Mayor.
it's always an option.
okay. On the welcome sign, I was able to speak with Jared Smith with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, and he said it would still be a few more months before that area would be free for us to go in and put another sign. So they're going to be running equipment up and down the side of the road to get drainage structures complete. And he would notify us about a month before they were done. Okay, skate park. Of course, Casey Cowan was at our last meeting to give us updates. Tiffany Decker with Grayson County Tourism and I met with him a few weeks ago, and we both agreed to sit on a committee once he has that formed. It's my understanding that he went to Grayson County Fiscal Court meeting to get their input, and they have agreed on some land that they would let him utilize for the skate park. He's currently checking on how to open a checking account and looking into additional grants. So when more information is given on the project, I'll make sure and keep you guys updated. On printing, I have finally got our city brochure completely updated, and it's currently has been sent to print. Tiffany and I are both working on the final inserts for the Grayson County Leitchfield Tourism Magazine, so hopefully we'll have that back, I'm hoping by the end of April, beginning of May. I have no other old business.
Any other old business? Nope.
Okay, so moving to new business, you have a flyer in your packet for the first gospel music on East Main. That is Guy Penrod, and it's scheduled for Friday, June 7th. Everything's moving very smooth with that, and I've had nothing but great reviews on this plan. Right now, he is $8,000, Guy Penrod, plus some additional fees like rooms and meals that the church will continue to help us with at First Baptist. Jason Crabb will potentially come in August, and then Darren Whiteley is currently working on 2 acts from their end, so he's going to keep us updated, and we'll approve those.
Are we still doing food trucks for those gospel shows?
Yes, last year we did 1 food truck and 1 dessert truck, so this year we definitely need 2 to 3.
It was a big turnout.
It was a great turnout. You have an enclosed packet from Tiffany with your information, and it's concerning the Kentucky Headhunters. Of course, they requested earlier a $10,000 sponsorship to go toward, or a grant to go toward that concert. So just as a courtesy and so you guys are updated, she has her expenses and income. That will be June 1st at Loxton Valley Park. And I think it's really interesting, they're building a permanent stage at Loxton Valley. So if you haven't gotten a chance to drive through, it's going to be a very nice
Yeah.
addition.
So do we need to make a motion to approve that?
It was already in our budget.
Okay.
I just like to have it in the
That's what I
minutes,
was
but
thinking. Wanted to clarify.
the last thing I have is about the community app. And Lori, if I forget something or leave something out, fill it in for me. But it's my understanding the city's purchased a subscription to GoGov, and it's an app that you put on cell phones and delivers messages, and it could be about community events or street closures, basically anything. The city paid $9,408 for a one-year subscription and has requested that we contribute a part to that if we would like to utilize the service. Did I leave anything out?
No, I don't think so.
Is that app up and running already?
No, Mayor and I actually have a meeting, a Zoom meeting with Kevin at 3 o'clock this afternoon to start the first process of
Okay.
that, so.
When's anticipated launch on that? Any
He
idea?
talked like it wouldn't take a month to get it launched, so.
So it'll go out, I guess if you had the app, I'm just trying to follow what it is. So you have an app, you get a reminder or whatever that there might be a concert at East Main on Friday or Saturday or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, if there's anything city-wise, street closures, things, concerts, things like that.
Right.
We can push notifications out to people.
Does it cover like boil water advisories and stuff? Are utilities part of it too?
Well, they have opted not to be.
Okay.
I think they'll basically see some use for it, probably won't get in on it.
Right.
I think they opted not to be part of it. They're welcome to use it.
Sure.
They just didn't pay for it.
Right.
It's a pretty good deal.
Any discussion on the app?
How much would that be?
Well, I guess we could elect to pay whatever portion of that we wanted to.
I don't know how much you all would intend to use it, so that's why I kind of, when I talked to Elsa about it, I said just, if you all plan to use it, maybe figure out a percentage of what you think you'll use it, and, any help's better than none.
Right. That's kind of where my mindset was. Do we do a quarter of it or whatever? But I guess we really need to brainstorm what we would use it for and how many times we would use it.
You could also use it for ball signups.
Right. And rain, would that cover, right, like rain cancellations for ball games? I mean, anything, any
Good.
public,
You
yeah.
really could.
Well,
I
that would
think
be
our
great.
biggest challenge is going to be pushing the app and getting people to download the app.
That would be the tricky part.
Yeah.
It's a free app, I assume. Yeah.
Once we get more participation in it, it'll grow some, and
Right.
people will see the benefit of it.
Yeah.
It's a good way of communication for us, and there's some more tracking device on there that's, if we've got something going on, we put it in there, and it'll tell you whoever the administrator is.
Mm.
This has either been done or hadn't been done, some things like that.
Who's in charge of making those post to that app?
I'm gonna assume it's gonna be the department heads.
Yeah, generally, I think, whenever, especially with things like tourism, things like that, that whenever we put something on the Facebook page or something like that, we would
Just populate to it.
We get it on the app, or on the app too. to push
Right.
out, So it's gonna be a learning curve for all of us.
Yeah. But that's the way of the future.
Yeah.
All right. Let's revisit that next month. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Give some thought of what we could use it for, and
Right.
we'll discuss it some. Okay. Any other new business?
I do not
No.
have anything.
Okay. We'll need a motion to adjourn.
How about this, do we do anything on this?
We don't have to, we've already approved that.
Well, bless your heart.
There you go.
We spent money I didn't know about, huh?
You knew about it. You voted about it back for it.
I'll make a motion.
Joyce makes a motion to adjourn. Second. Anthony second. All in favor with the sign of aye.